black man. Reminds me of another buffoon up in New York who did a 90-minute movie back in 2015 when that situation happened. But brothers and sisters, it ain't about them, it's about us. But on Christmas Day, while you're spending time with your family, as you should.
Okay, let's pause it for a minute and do a little analysis here. I'm not sure, but I was in the kitchen and I could have swore I heard him say that I was thirsty. And shit, maybe I am a thirsty coon because I did get some water because I am really actually thirsty. But I'm not real worried about what anybody has to say. I think anybody who, if you've been watching me consistently, you know what I do. I piss people off because I say what's on my mind. What's ironic, what's interesting to me, here's what I'm going to say I'm observing here. If you interpret my conversations about the topic of Umar in a negative way, right? If you interpret it as, oh, this guy's trying to hate on Umar, he's trying to attack Umar, he's trying to throw shots at Umar because he's talking about things that are confirmed by fact, right? He's talking about, things that he analytically sees. If you see it as a threat, then that must mean that you feel that simply talking about Umar is going to be a negative reflection on Umar. Right? Because you could just as easily say, remember I told you guys, I don't want you guys to hear what I think about Umar entirely. I mean, I'll give you my analysis of a lot of this. But I'm letting Umar speak for Umar, right? I don't have to, and the thing that I would say to him is if I was advising him, and Umar and I will probably never work together because to be honest with you, in my heart of hearts, some of the things I have seen bother me enough that even there was a point up until the time I talked to Mark Lamont Hill when Umar just kind of felt like he just kept throwing rocks at us through his, with these like memes, putting memes on his page. I'm not sure. I think that's kind of strange. Like when a 40-something-year-old man with a beard is like memeing you instead of like calling you or telling you directly what he thinks. And also, in fact, actually, there were a lot of people at the first All Black National Convention who said they came in and they said, Dr. Boyce, they said, Umar Johnson's outside. I said, he is? I said, well, bring him in. Like, I'd love to have him, bring him on the stage. Shoot, that's cool. And I said, and then I never saw him. And I said, I thought you guys said Umar was out there. They said, yeah, he was. And I said, but why didn't he come in? And I was like, is he trying to see what we're doing? Like, we have black people here and we're talking about black issues that matter to the black community. Why wouldn't he be incredibly appropriate to come up and speak? I've never had an issue with him. I have an issue with worshiping anybody. Like people who worship Barack Obama, I had an issue with that. But if you go back in time, you'll notice I actually endorsed Obama before black people did. I actually said on CNN, you can go find the video. I said, this guy Obama, I think he's better than Hillary Clinton. I think that he's going to gain momentum. Right now, Hillary's dominating him. But I believe that with the endorsement of Oprah, that's going to propel him up. And I think Hillary Clinton is nervous about this because this guy could actually win. He's that good. But the thing is, I went up to, when it came to my Obama love, I went up to maybe level 6, right? Or 7. So level 6 or 7 is like, I like you more than everyone else, but I'm going to be watching you, man. You're a politician. I don't trust these damn politicians, so I'm going to be watching you. Black folks went from level 1 to level 45, right? So when you're at level 6 and everybody else is at level 1, you look like you love that person more than everyone else. But when everyone else gets to level 45 and you're still at level 6, maybe level 7.2, then they start calling you a hater, right? Like, oh, you must hate Obama, you must not like him. I'm like, no, I've just been consistent. It's like with investing, honestly, even with this stuff with Bitcoin, in crypto. You've seen crypto take big dips lately and go up and go down and go up and go down. And I'll have people that either think it's raining money and the world is wonderful, or they will feel like the world's coming to an end. And what I tell them is, you got to be balanced. My investing strategy does not change based on whether or not Bitcoin and crypto went up or down that day, right? So when it comes to, say, analyzing an Umar Johnson, my position is kind of consistent. My position is, number one, the community matters more than anybody else. So, do I agree with, talking about yourself in the third person or declaring yourself to be the Prince of Pan-Africanism? I think that's I think that's a little bit of a problem, right? Because it's not up to us. I can't declare myself to be the next Dr. Claude Anderson. You guys have to do that. If you guys don't do that, then it hasn't happened. I can't say I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am the prince of financial literacy. I am the king of black economic empowerment. If you hear those words come out of my mouth, please slap me, because I've clearly lost my damn mind. But also with that said, Umar mentioned like a brother who I could tell he was talking about. I mean, I'm sounding like, oh, he's talking about me. Oh, okay, interesting. I wonder what he thinks about, because he hasn't really said anything before directly to me, other than when I saw him and he was very polite when we first met. We were very very cordial, and I look forward to kind of having a conversation. I think that, just to be 100% clear, I'm at a point where I can't really work with Umar because, unfortunately, so many seeds of distrust have been planted, and not just by the haters and the coons. We know the coons are out there. We know you got people out there that will destroy anything black they can get their hands on. But you have seeds of distrust that have been sown by Umar himself. Situations that he could have handled. But even sitting there, the way he's talking about, the stripper, the way he's sort of picking off his enemies one by one, I think that is like, that's really reflective of like a type of paranoia. It's reflective of martyrdom. Like I am a martyr. And none of this has anything to do with anything I have done. It has to do with all of them. The coons and that horrible woman and that nigga over there and that motherfucker right there. Okay, yeah, maybe that's partly true, but you got to keep going, man. I mean, and now one thing I'll say, another piece of advice I would probably give him is that the best thing he said, from what I was hearing when I was in the kitchen getting some water, is he said, I don't need the licenses, I'm going to keep going. And that's what I would probably say to him if I was his advisor. I would say, you have your licenses from the people. The people that love you give you your license to come in and speak as an expert. You don't need that white man's degree for real, to be for real about it. Those Negroes at the root are never going to support you. They're always going to hate you. You could go out and raise $10 million and build 10 million schools, and they would still find some way to define you as harmful to the community, because they themselves are harmful to the community. I don't think that the majority of what they do over there, this media outlet that's not owned by black people, sort of spreading the white liberal agenda on black people, I don't think they're beneficial to black people. So I would say, just keep moving, keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to be fine. That's what I would probably say to him. And so if you want to know if I took his comment about me personally, not really. I kind of expected that. You get to a point where you kind of know that no matter what you say, it's going to be interpreted in the worst possible light. So in a way, maybe I feel a little bit the way Umar might possibly feel. How Umar can say anything, and there are people that are always going to find the worst interpretation possible. I feel that way when it comes to talking about Umar. I know that there are some people who are incapable of, on any level, seeing that how some of this could be harmful to the black community. I think that there are some people who, on any level, just like Barack Obama, Obama can't do no wrong. White liberals do that with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton can't do no wrong. Bill Clinton could rape a woman on camera, and they don't give a shit. Donald Trump said grab him by the pussy. They want to call him a predator, which he probably is, right? But Bill Clinton has all these women lined up saying he raped me, he assaulted me, he womanized me, he harassed me, blah, blah, blah. He got his dick sucked in the Oval Office, and there are white liberals who will refuse to ever critique Bill Clinton. They don't understand that you can love someone and critique them. A good parent does that to their child on a regular basis. I get critiqued by my loved ones all the time. Sometimes I deserve it. It doesn't mean they don't love me. It just means they telling me when I'm fucking up. If you don't have somebody around you, I'm telling anybody out who's running a business, trying to build an empire, trying to do anything, if you don't have somebody around you who can say, man, that was fucked up. Like, what are you doing? That was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. If you don't have at least one person around you that you trust who can say that to you, then you will lose. You will never succeed, because you will be no different from these white feminists who swear up and down that a white woman can never lie. She can never lie about being assaulted. She's always telling the truth, so there's no need to conduct an investigation. A white woman should never go to prison because white women are pure and wonderful and they will never hurt anybody. Anything that a white woman wants, anytime she feels offended, anytime she feels like somebody has mistreated her, that person deserves nothing short of complete public humiliation and potentially the death penalty. You are no different from those people, and those are not the people that I want anywhere around anything that we're doing. Because, and also here's another piece I'm gonna throw in here because I gotta go in a minute. We're about to get on this plane in a minute, but I'm gonna say this. Another thing that I got to pull the video down because I actually wish I had more time to show more of the video. There's actually another 8 minutes left. I encourage you, again, don't listen to my words about Umar. Go make your own decision. Watch the video, think about it critically, and come to your own conclusion. Don't let me be the one to tell you what to think about Umar Johnson. I am not that guy. He can put that on me all day. All these niggas out here planting seeds of hatred and everything else, throwing shots. If you think that telling the truth and analyzing things critically means throwing shots, then you need to quit that shit because that's what those pastors do when they're brainwashing black people into giving all their money to a shitty ass preacher. That's what people do when you brainwash people. When you form a cult, what you do is you define anybody who engages in critical analysis to be a mortal enemy. That is wrong. That is not beneficial to black people. We will not gain if we have more people who are not using their brains. It's not going to be one man or one woman that elevates the black community. It's going to be all of us. It's going to take effort from everybody. So this idea of putting one person out there is kind of like the conscious Michael Jordan or whatever, who's going to score all the points for the whole team. That's not going to work. It has never worked. That's why your leadership gets taken down so easily, because you put everything into one man. And we won't get up off our ass and say everybody pitch in. All the experts pitch in. Everybody who's got some labor pitch in. Everybody's got a couple dollars pitch in. That's how you elevate a community. You don't elevate a community by having a superhero. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry. If you want to know what I'm passionate about, what I will fight to the death over, it is the right of us to have freedom of speech. It is the right of us to have freedom of thought. It is the right of us to engage in critical analysis. It's the right of us to be able to think for ourselves and think about what's best for our families. It's the right of us to hold our leaders accountable. And, anybody who's in the public space, including myself, you can hold me accountable. If you ask me a question and I have to defend it, and I'll be like, okay, well, here's what's really going on. Here's my perspective on that issue. Whatever it is, I just think that it's kind of unfortunate when you kind of just get to a place where you got a percentage of your community that just won't even ask questions. That's how those little kids, how those little kids got raped in the Catholic Church? All those fucking kids, hundreds of thousands of children got consistently, systematically raped by Catholic Church, leaders. Why was that? It was because there were people who believed that a priest could never harm a child. One of my friends said this, and I gotta go. I'm gonna say this is the last thing I'm gonna say. One of my neighbors, there was a white lady, it was a neighbor of mine who was Italian, and she said, if I had come home when I was a little girl and told my mother that my priest raped me, she would have smacked me in my mouth. And so what you're doing when you try to smack the mouth of anybody who speaks ill or who questions anything that your beloved leader has to say, then you are no different from those people who protected those child molesting priests. Because here's the thing, even if the priest was innocent, there's nothing wrong with asking questions and saying, what are you doing with my child? If the priest is innocent, the priest can prove to you that he's not harming your child. So same thing with your money. There's nothing wrong with you saying, what did you do with my money? And if the person can't answer directly, then that means you need to ask more questions. That's just the honest to God truth. At the end of the day, I'm not saying somebody's a crook, but I'm just telling you that's the perspective that I will lay out here, and you can do what you want with it, and think about it how you'd like. I gotta go, guys. Have a great day. I'll try to talk to you in the next few days. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Hanukkah, and whatever other holiday you celebrate. I'll see you guys soon. Don't spend a bunch of money on a bunch of toys for your kids. Get them something educational. Maybe buy them some stocks, bonds, or crypto. Get that business started with your family. This is the time for you to start building. And and the last piece I'll say on this Umar thing is, if he really for real wanted to really kill all controversy, all you gotta do, man, is go build a school. All you gotta do is take about maybe 50,000, call for volunteers throughout the community to come help you and build a school, and then show everybody the school that you built, and then everything, a lot of this stuff goes away. That's it. It's easily solvable. I mean, that's just my 2 cents.